You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.
Hi, you guys. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. I know you don't have to tell me you're having an awesome, a fabulous, super fantastic day, evening, or afternoon. No matter where you are, all is well. No matter what's going on in your life, it's actually a good day. Because guess what? Let's be serious. We actually have to go through ups and downs. We do have to go through times we say, Lord, what's really going on? Times you say, do I really want to throw in the towel? But I'm so glad that you do not throw in the towel, because guess what? Quitting is not an option. We do have to check our perspective of a thing, because we have to watch it sometimes, depending on what's going on in our life. We don't really think about what's really going on, because when somebody else not having a good day, that don't mean you need to have one, right? But the joy that comes from you should spread to somebody else, to let them know everything's going to be okay. We just got to ride the waves. Do you know how to surf? Take that up when the summer come around, okay? It's a fun thing. Jumping out of a plane, woo-hoo, I love it. Because the thing about it, and Will Smith said it wonderfully, he said that fear, if that's what you want to call it, when you jump out of that plane, you're like, oh, what did I really do? But then when you open your eyes and realize that you are soaring, you are in a state that you just amazed at the amazing things that you can see from above. But guess what? You forgot about the fear. So that's why we need to make sure we don't have fear. Because when you get past that thing, when you step out on that face, guess what? The fear was gone. Isn't that amazing? I just love it. Here on Good Deeds, that's where you are hanging out with us. I am your amazing host. I'm so happy to be your host. I am Dr. Renee Sunday, and I am the platform builder. People call me the Be Seen, Be Heard expert. I've heard people call me the purpose-driven platform builder. But the thing is, I help people identify their purpose if they're not aware. And then we help them build a platform so they can be what? You know how to say it with me. Be seen, be heard, and guess what? Get paid, okay? Because we have to help somebody else. A lot of people don't know their why. A lot of people don't know why they're here on earth. A lot of people don't know their purpose. You see what I'm saying? So we actually need to get that book out, get that play out, get that, be that coach that you're supposed to be. Get those things out and speak, okay, so you can help somebody else take that void away. That pain, you can help them with that pain, that they can have a fulfilled life. And that's what we're supposed to do. But I got into it. I had several clients today, so I was hyper, I was all in it, right? And so let's get to the question, because we have a powerhouse young lady here with us. I just love it when we actually have other speakers, a powerful women author speech. I just love it. I love it. But anyway, I love it. But let's get to the question. Dr. Renee, the question for Dr. Renee. And, of course, they just handed it to me, right? Oh, Lord, this is so fun. They like to get me up. But, that's one of my things that I can say. I work good under pressure, and I guess that's good for me to be an anesthesiologist, right? But the question is, Dr. Sunday, they said they listened to a broadcast and they said that I said something to the effects of they appreciated that I saluted my team, that I was very transparent that I had trouble delegating in the beginning, because I was, anesthesiologist full-time. So, pretty much a lot of that we do on our own, to be honest. I mean, well, of course we have the nurses and, the different ancillary staff that help us. But a lot of times the decisions I have to make, because I'm the only anesthesiologist sometime in the premises, so I had to learn how to delegate. That was my main challenge. and the things that I do now. But the person wanted to know, what did I do with my, guess what, fear? See, I'm not going to sit up here and say I didn't have fear. I didn't have that uncomfortable feeling. I didn't, want to get out that comfort zone. So I was really, we stayed on the phone forever, but this is just a snippet of what my response. My response was, just like I said, what Will Smith said. It was pretty similar. But the thing about it is, you have to surround yourself with positive people. If you're the smartest person in the room, that's not going to do. I think Bishop Jake said it. If you're the smartest one in the room, that's not good. But you have to be teachable. You have to be coachable. You have to realize when you in somebody else, they business, you're on somebody else's platform, you're on somebody else, even at somebody else's event, you have to respect them and the things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a big person of doing my due diligence in a thing. Let me just tell you this real quickly. I had the awesome opportunity to support and be part of the media of the Alternative Baseball Association, a nonprofit organization that helps the special needs kids and adults. They play baseball. Man, they hit that ball so hard, and I was screaming and having a good time. But let me tell you what the amazing thing that happened is I was a servant. Whatever they needed at that place, at the park, I pitched in. And lo and behold, people start asking, well, you have a child here? I said, no, I'm actually part of the media. So you actually need to be, the point I'm trying to say is you got to be a servant. You have to celebrate somebody else before you can actually have yours. You see what I'm getting at? But the thing about it, check them out if you're looking for a 501c3 to support and an amazing thing. And then they even asked me to be at every one of their events because they have the Atlanta Braves coming up and all that. But I'm just not talking about all that. But the thing is, be a servant. So the things that you do, if you want your business to jump off and get six figures, are you a servant? Are you serving and celebrating somebody else, or do you have the wrong motive? Oh, well, we ain't going to preach today because I got to get to my guest. Okay. But if you have a question you want me to answer here online and I actually have a conversation with you also, on the phone or Zoom or something like that. But we got to get to our guest. We have the amazing young lady with us. She is a sexual abuse survivor. I love that. She's an author. She's a speaker. Guess what? She's a paralegal. So she can tell you from that side, and she can tell you from the other side as well. I just love it when you can hear the passion in somebody's voice that their pain, purpose, or the things that they have been around, that they actually can share with someone else that they can move forward in life. We're gonna welcome none other, and she's gonna help me pronounce her last name so I don't mess it up. But Miss Armelle, are you there? Pronounce your last name for me, sweetie.
Yes, Dr. Renee, it's Armelle Desir. The last name is like Desire. It's French. Actually, in French it does mean desire, but just the E is silent, so it's Desir.
I'm glad I didn't mess that up. Hallelujah. I'm sorry. I would have messed that up, sweetie. But I'm welcome to Good Deeds. You doing okay today?
I am blessed. Thank you so much for asking. I'm definitely doing better than most days.
Well, I can understand. Yes, ma'am. But tell us a little bit more about yourself and, the things that's going on in your life. I know I probably, didn't say it the way it's supposed to be, because you can always say it with better passion and better drive, because that's who you are.
Thank you. Well, my name is Armelle Desir, as I introduced myself earlier. And I'm a wife, a mother of 3 beautiful children, and I am a sexual abuse advocate and survivor first and foremost. I also am the founder of a nonprofit organization called The Gift of Hope, and just a little bit about that I did start off the Gift of Hope, the organization for sexual abuse victims as well. Also, as something that I am passionate about is law and helping others. So I'm finishing up pre-law now to go to law school, hopefully, God willing. And I'm also a speaker. my passion is to not only speak on my story and things that I've been through, but also to empower other young ladies and men out there that have gone through any type of adversity and help them understand that they can turn their pain into purpose.
I love that. I love that. Do me a favor. Turn the volume up on your phone just a little bit. Our technical support is saying that we need a little volume on your end because we want to make sure we have this. We have a little kind of bad weather in the area. So, but tell us. Let's go back a little bit because I love that you said you were a mother and tell us about that because a lot of times and I'm going somewhere with this because I don't ask personal stuff, so I'm not saying anything personal, but the sense and that well-being of being a mother with all the other things that you're doing, people always love to ask me about balance, and, I don't have kids, but how is that a word, first of all, for you, balance? And if it is or if it's not, kind of help us a little bit with all the people that's listening that have all these things we're doing, and we're a loving mother, we're a wife, we all these things together. How do you do it?
Oh, well, it's all by the grace of God. I definitely can't take any credit, but also it's planning. I feel like the key is not to take on too many things at once. We have a tendency just as human beings or people that are passionate about something, as soon as an idea comes in our head, we want to execute on all of it. And first and foremost, if your family's not right, you're not going to be right. Everything needs to be aligned. And so the way that I balance is not only by planning, but I try not to take on too many things or too many activities at once. So if you plan accordingly, then you won't get too overwhelmed where you won't have time for your family or your household, because that has to come first, because if where you lay your head or where you spend time at is not in one accord or not and is unbalanced, then everything else around you is going to be chaotic. And so what I do try to do is definitely plan. I plan not only with a lot of prayer, but as people come to me, hey, can you speak on this or can you work on this? I either say yes or no based off my calendar and what I have to do.
Now, I love that. I think who said it? I can't remember who coined it first, but you have to learn how to say the word N-O.
Yes. Yes, you do. You do. It's really, really big. Now, I tell people all the time, not every opportunity is good opportunity. There are some things that you are going to have to turn away and say no. So many times we want the exposure. We want everyone and everything. We want everyone to know who we are and what we do, and we feel like the more people that approach us, the more activities we take on, the better. In all actuality, it may not be aligned with the purpose that God has for you. It may not be aligned with the vision that He has for you. And sometimes you could take on either too much or you could take on something that has nothing to do with the vision that you have, and it might stir away from the direction that you're going in.
That is very true. And you know that, yeah. I had to actually, I'm going to be transparent. Y'all know I am. I actually had to get that from people in my inner circle, because when I first came totally from medicine to the things that I've been entrusted now, and I tell people, I try to tell people, oh, wow, don't do what I did. I'm telling you, I started off doing everything, and I'm not saying this is right, this is wrong, but I started off doing everything for free. And I'm not saying that's good, I'm not saying it's bad, but I had a hard time changing the mindset, I guess, if that's the way I need to say it, of people for paying for my services. They'll love to pick my brain, and that's not the way to be. Especially and I'm have to throw this in just quickly. Especially being believers. We praying for increase, praying the daybed prayer, but then you don't want to pay people for their products and services. So I had to learn the hard way, and I'm not like that now. I know how to, like you just said, to say no and make sure things are in alignment of where God wants me to be, because I don't want to end up being in the wrong place, that I'm not in the right place to help His people. So, girl, you said a sermon right there.
I've been told. It's just, it comes from a lot of lessons learned as well, because I used to do the same thing. I used to take on so many projects. People would come, pick my brain, ask me questions, and it would just be so overwhelming. And then I would find myself in such a place where I'm drained, and I'm just like, okay, I can't do that. And even, as far as your services, as you mentioned, I do understand that sometimes you got to get somewhere. You may have to do things for free, but then at the same time, too, you have to respect me enough to understand that this is how I feed my children. This is how I feed my family, put food in my mouth as well, but this is also a profession that I love. So sometimes that's also a tough decision to have to also decide, how much do I charge? Do I not? And this person, I know this person ain't willing to pay, but they over here asking me all types of questions. So it's just certain things that you may have to be like, no, you have to have the courage to say no,
I'm laughing because yes, ma'am. But you're right. The way the climate is now for any speakers out there, let me just say this. Now, just me personally, I do things for free now, but it's a clause in there with the free. Usually when I speak free on a platform, I'm not talking about ministry. That's a whole other situation with the honorarium and all that. But a lot of times that I speak free now, I'm able to sell from the stage. And what that means, sell from the stage, is that you can actually make a pitch. You can make a share. So usually, let me tell you, just a word of wisdom, you make more money 9 times out of 10 than you getting paid. So don't be resistant of taking free opportunities. But guess what I was doing? I think pretty similar to what you were doing. I was doing everything for free just to kind of get my name out there, and I had to get my inner circle had to get on me. Okay.
You need those people. You need those people in your life.
Wow, I love it. But let's go to, because I love, as I talked a little bit in the introduction of the show, I love nonprofit organizations that, just help people where they are. So you talked a little bit about the gift of hope. Kind of dive a little more deeper, if you can, in regards of the actions, the services. We know, of course, some things are private, I know, in this, especially in the industry that you're helping. But in regards of raising the awareness and trying to bring prevention of that, how do you carry that out?
Well, what I do is typically I try, when I speak or do speaking engagements, of course, I may mention the gift of hope, or I'll either reach out to different services or different organizations out there and different other platforms that provide services that are similar to mine, and I will try to also collaborate, because I feel like collaboration is key. I don't believe in competition. The key is to reach out to survivors and those who were victims and help them become survivors. So what I typically try to do is, even in my hometown here, I do a lot of volunteer work. And so my team and I, we will go out and we'll volunteer and we'll get the word out there. We'll also do a lot of awareness. What I do is, on my social media platform, or whenever I'm doing a speaking engagement or I'm doing videos or anything like that, I make sure I'm throw out statistics out there in regards to the issue, because I also feel like, especially for me, I feel like I grew up, this is my background real quick, and I mention it because I grew up Haitian, so from the Caribbean culture, and it's something that's swept under the rug a lot. So when I came out with the gift of hope, when I first told my story, it was just confusing to me why so many young ladies, and they were women from my cultural descent, that was coming towards me. And I just couldn't understand, because I knew that they had resources out in my city. I knew that there was resources available. I just did not understand, and I kept asking God, like, okay, what do I do with this? This isn't something that I hid. This is something that I hid for so long, and when I finally had the courage to come out and tell my story, it was because I was pushed by the Holy Spirit. I just had something in my gut told me to say something to a young lady, and it just happened to be an audience of people there. So, sometimes when you're called to do stuff, you're like, no, this is too much for me. So I couldn't understand. And as I did research and I dug in a little bit more and just did a little more prayer, I realized that the issue is not just because these young ladies were sexually abused, it's the community that they were coming from. A lot of them, if they weren't from the Caribbean descent, they were African American. And so the reason why they were able to come to me is because I was able to relate to them by color. And I know it sounds so cliche, you're not supposed to see color, but believe it or not, a lot of young ladies or young people don't feel like they're connected to certain individuals just based off the lifestyle that they live. So I was able to relate to these young ladies, and that's how the Gift of Hope was born. It's not only to help victims that are in the African American community or Caribbean community, but it's also to help bring awareness of the issue, so that way we can help people understand that these things are preventable and that they start at home, believe it or not. And that's really how it actually started, and that's really how I kind of get my name and the organization out there.
Yeah, we have to, and you speak so wonderfully. I can tell the passion and the joy there. Let me ask you, because I think when we have this type of conversation, I always ask this because, of course, the millennials, as you just said, is totally different from kind of my group now. And, of course, if I go way up to my sister 4 years, she's going to get me for saying that like that, but 4 years older than me, and then, of course, go to my parents. Things have totally changed. It used to be, especially here in the South, I'm going to just say it, whatever happened in the house, stay in the house kind of, and we know that specifically from Oprah Winfrey, has talked about that. But how now in this age, and I'm so glad that you have taken the mantle to help, but what do you think? I know there's so much more we can do, but is it easier, if that's a word, to actually get help and resources when you want to get help? I know that's a decision that has to be made because there's so many variables there. But what do you think? I know we still got a long ways to go, but I'm praying, and I hope you can help us realize that I hope it's better than when I was a millennial versus my mom was a millennial.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, when it comes to what we can do, I feel like the more people that come out, especially women of color, and come out and tell their story, the more hope that there is. The issue is and what you said in regards to keeping it in the house, that's also how it is with Haitians. It's like, so-and-so, when it happened to me, my mom, her biggest thing was, first, I didn't, I'm like, she don't believe me. I didn't want to come there because she was all about her image. And that is what we happen to be about, is image. They didn't want the people in the church to be snickering about them and talking about them, or this can't get out. What are you talking about? So she was just a bit in denial. But I believe it had a lot to do with how people were going to see her, how people were going to see us. And to her, it was more so her image, but also because the person that did sexually abuse me was helping our family financially a lot. And I felt like because she came from a very poor country and coming to the United States, she was just so concerned about losing that source of income. So to her, that was much more important. So I really feel like the goal is to kind of get our people more comfortable with the sense on, no, this isn't right. It doesn't matter what the circumstances of your situation is. It isn't right. So the point is getting it out there. Like if you look at the Me Too movement, and I bring that up, the Me Too movement, if you look at the Time's Up movement, most of the women that are coming forward are women of they're Caucasian, they're not women of color. And that kind of stuck out to me too. It might be one or two that speak on it, but it wasn't that much. So why is it that we can't have something where we understand, listen, it's not right. It's not just right for the Caucasians. It's not right altogether. And I think that the more people that voice their opinion on it, or the more stories that come out, the more we can be able to find solutions ourselves. The more people will know it's not right. Because when you sweep it underneath the rug, Bobby knows that. So Bobby knows that even if you tell mommy, she's not going to want Susie at the church to know. So guess what? Bobby keeps doing it. By the time they do find out that Bobby did it, Bobby might get beat up by Uncle Barry, but that's just pretty much it, you know. And then by the time they kick him out, he never got arrested or anything like it. It's not like he learned his lesson. He goes down the street to Julie's house and does it to her daughter. But guess what? Because it stayed in the house, Susie never told Julie to watch out for Barry. You understand what I'm saying? And it might sound confusing, but they're just names I'm throwing out there. But the point is, when you keep it in the house, you probe risk for other people's children to do it. And that is how come we have so many broken young ladies and broken young men, because nowadays the boys have to worry about it too, you know. And we could pray all day, but I'm not going to say what's the point, but it's what's the point if we're not doing anything at home? You understand what I'm saying? Because that right there is something that can be preventable if you just speak up.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. I'm with you. You know, I'm a step back a little bit, please, because it always happens when we have this topic. So I'm of course do this as well with you, if you don't mind. Someone may be listening live. Someone may be checking us out on iTunes or YouTube or any of the social media, you know, later today. It may be a whole year from now. We don't know. Speak to that person, male, female, like you just said, that may be thinking something wasn't right that happened. Or they feel like they're in a compromised kind of situation, or they may was in something, you know, when they was in you know, a child. Kind of speak to them, if you don't mind, and encourage them. You know, first of all, I know a lot of, from what I understand, they always feel like it was their fault. But share from your heart of whatever's on your heart in regards of how to help them, you know, with that situation. And, of course, they need to contact you to go dive deep in it. But then after you do that, please tell us how we can contact you, how we can support you on social media, and, of course, how we can get your literature on your nonprofit and your books and materials as well.
Okay, well, my words or my encouraging word to anyone that has gone through some type of sexual abuse or sexual assault and violence, or even if you're someone who knows somebody who has been sexually abused and it hasn't been done to you personally, I have to let you guys understand that it's not your fault. It's never your fault. I don't care what he or she told you, it is not your fault. The first thing that you need to do once you realize it's not your fault is to stand up for yourself. As a victim, we have a tendency of feeling sorry for ourselves and think about the what ifs. But at this point in time, it's only about you. In order for you to move on from what happened to you, or in order for anyone to move on from something that you know someone has gone through, you need to be able to unleash yourself from the thoughts that you're having, unleash yourself from the negativity, unleash yourself from that person that told you the negative things that they told you that is keeping you from saying anything to anyone. Once you decide to unleash yourself from that negativity, you will find yourself in such a happy place. You will find yourself loving yourself more than anyone has ever loved you. But as long as you stay wrapped up into what someone said or what someone did to you, you will never get to the place of freedom. You will never get to the place where you feel comfortable enough to live your life the way that you know that God has destined you to live your life. But in order for you to unleash yourself, like I said, you need to go back and remind yourself that it's not your fault. So I say that to say that if anyone is having trouble or has been a victim of sexual abuse or violence, or again, you know someone and you are affected about what that person went through, I encourage you to get my book, Unleashed. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can also reach out to me on social media at our Facebook, Instagram. It's Armelle Desir, Armelle, D as in David, E as in Sam, IR. And you can be able to purchase the book anywhere on there. And, of course, if it's something you can't afford, we can work something out. Reach out to me. It's definitely a book that you want to read. It doesn't only talk about my experiences in detail, but it also gives you the tools that you need to unleash yourself from your past circumstances and the adversities and the things that you've been through, whether it was sexual abuse or not, and help you move on to the life of success that you are destined to have. Also, if you'd like to contact me via email, you can contact me at info@armelledesir.com.
Wow.
I have to think.
And I have to say this because, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get the book because, I commend your team that actually prepared your cover and all that because it's so inviting. And you have to have that in regards of the sensitive information that is shared. But you heard what she says. She shares a story, but she also gives you tools that you can move forward.
Yes, ma'am, because that's important. You know, I tell people once I decided to unleash myself, and if you look at my cover of my book, it has the chains being broken because I used to hold on to a lot of the things that happened to me, not just the sexual abuse, but the sexual abuse also opens doors to so many other things that can also go wrong. So that's why I encourage people to unleash yourself from those things that happen to you because you holding on to that will open other doors to cause you to make so much wrong decision based off emotions, spirits, and feelings that you're having. And so once you unleash yourself from the things that has happened to you and you move on and you choose yourself, it is a life that is so deserving and it's so free. I can't even explain it. You know, it's just something that I encourage people to do. And sometimes people are like, how do you do that? And I don't know how to do it. And that's what I talk about in my book. I feel like when you share your story and you encourage someone else, they're like, oh, my gosh, you went through that? Oh, my gosh. And the reviews that I get is, oh, my gosh, Armelle, this isn't just sad, but you're so humorous as well. You can tell your personality from this book. So I let people understand that through your pain there's a purpose. You can laugh through some of the things that has happened to me because I do. But you can also eventually one day you'll be able to turn back and laugh at it yourself and be able to encourage somebody else as well.
Oh, Lord, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for being in your purpose, And then, of course, taking time out of being here with us on Good Deeds, because, my hat's off to you. I want to continue this conversation with you because we need to continue to get this information out. And we will have all your information on our website. Of course, we said iTunes, YouTube, and our website and social media as well. But thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. It's definitely my pleasure. And if before I go, it's something that I always say to anyone listening, and it doesn't matter if you're a sexual abuse survivor or not, I wanted to leave you with you are not a product of what happened to you. You choose who you become. Your life is yours. At the end of the day, anything that you want to be, anything that you put your heart to, you can do it. Just don't allow your past to follow you and keep you from holding you back.
Wow. I think I have to change your name from motivational speaker to transformational. Your language is just, because you transform the audience. So you are transform, and I love it.
I've been told that too.
You put a pep in my step.
Thank you. I've been told. That's why I don't really I put motivational because it's so popular, but I don't like to kind of put a name on it. I just tell people I love to empower and help others because when you read my story, you'll know what I've been through from jail, teen pregnancy. Like I tell people look at me like, you've been locked up? And I'm like, yeah, it's all in my book. So, if people know what I've been through and where I'm at now, you would never believe it. And I just want to be able to help other people have the life that they want to and a life where they're successful as well. And people can look at them and be like, you really don't look like what you've been through,
That's a testimony, isn't it? Oh, wow. We love it. But thank you so much again for being here with us on Good Deeds. We will continue to, to stay in touch with you. And if you need us here at Good Deeds for anything, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Renee. I really, really appreciate it. And I just pray that everyone and anyone who's listening, that you are blessed by this. And keep going. Thank you so much. This is a wonderful platform that you have.
Thank you so much. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, I know you can't wait till the replay. I know. Hold on a minute, okay? Because this she's a powerhouse. We send blessings to her and the things that she do that, she needs to do a stage play and a movie and all that. Because the thing about it, we need to know that, we can make it. And she's a testament to that. Here at Good Deeds, we love sharing your stories. We love getting them in print and getting the masses out there that you can actually be a speaker. We help you with all those things. If you want to actually advertise or be a guest here on Good Deeds, if you want your own radio show platform, we can help you with that. We actually growing strong in that. I love it. But, the thing about it is it's time for you. It's past time. Let me just say it right. Past time for you to be out there. And I understand we all have things we have to overcome, but we actually have to, what I'm going to say right there, don't stop. Get it, right? And then we have a publishing company called Sunday Publishing to get those materials out so people can be helped. And we also have a nonprofit organization called Sunday Foundation where we help people take care of the need away, what we take for granted, that food, clothing, and shelter. And then we also have an educational piece there. We have a son project that we help patients, when they family members in the intensive care unit, we help them take care of the basic necessities of life. And we also have a mentorship program and a scholarship program. Go to our website. All that information is there. All our social media information is there. The website is reneesunday.com. Of course, that is www.renee, R-E-N-E-E, Sunday, SUNDAY.com. I want you to always remember, you do have a calling. You do have a reason you were born. You're not going to say it now, so get ready. You're not a mistake because you're not. You're not a mistake. You got to do the three things. You got to believe, you got to trust, and you got to walk it out. You got to don't stop, say it with me. You got to get it. And that means get your purpose and get your purpose now. I love you. I love you. If we can help you with anything, don't hesitate to contact us. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.